I always loved the solitude of late-night study sessions. The campus library, empty and quiet, was my sanctuary. That night was no different, except it was. I was hunched over my notes in a secluded corner of the library, the clock ticking past midnight. The only sound was the faint hum of the air conditioning. Suddenly I heard footsteps echoing in the hallways. Strange, I thought, since the library should have been closed by now. I brushed it off, thinking it was the janitor or another late-night student. But the footsteps grew closer, and I could feel a chill creeping up my spine. The footsteps stopped right behind me. I turned around, but no one was there. I laughed nervously, trying to shake off the unease. As I settled back into my chair, I saw a shadow move out of the corner of my eye. A tall, dark figure stood at the end of the aisle, but when I blinked, it was gone. I froze, my heart pounding. The library suddenly felt oppressive. I grabbed my things and hurried to the exit. As I made my way down the corridor, I heard whispers, faint but unmistakable, like someone was speaking just out of earshot. When I finally burst out of the library, I took a deep breath of the cool night air. I turned around to see if anyone was following me, but the hallway was empty, the library silent once more. I never returned to the library after dark. The memory of those footsteps and whispers still haunts me. Room 214 had a reputation. They said it was haunted by a student who had died there years ago. I didn't believe in ghosts, but when I was assigned that room, I felt a shiver of unease. My roommate Lisa and I tried to make the best of it, laughing off the rumors. Our first night in the room was uneventful, but as the weeks went by, strange things started happening. Objects would move on their own, lights flickered, and we heard faint whispers in the dead of night. Lisa and I were on edge, but we tried to rationalize everything. One night, I woke up to find Lisa standing at the foot of my bed, staring at me with wide, unblinking eyes. I called her name, but she didn't respond. She started speaking in a low, guttural voice that wasn't her own. "You shouldn't be here," she said. "This is my room." I screamed, and Lisa collapsed to the floor. When she came to, she had no memory of what happened. We reported the incident to the dorm advisor, but they dismissed it as a bad dream. The final straw came a week later. I woke up in the middle of the night to find Lisa sitting up in her bed, her eyes open but unseeing, her mouth moving as if in conversation. The room was freezing and the whispers were deafening. I grabbed my phone and recorded the scene before running out of the room. Lisa moved out the next day and I followed shortly after. We never spoke of what happened in room 214, but the video on my phone is a constant reminder that some rumors are based in truth. College life was everything I expected. Parties, late-night study sessions, and the occasional drama. But nothing prepared me for what happened with my roommate, Julia. We got along well enough, even though she was a bit secretive. She often went out late at night and came back early in the morning. I didn't complain. Everyone has their quirks. One night, I woke up to the sound of soft crying. It was Julia, sitting on her bed, her back to me. Concerned, I got up and walked over to her. I asked her if she was okay. She jumped and quickly wiped her tears. She told me she was fine, but I could see the fear in her eyes. Over the next few weeks, her behavior became increasingly erratic. She started missing classes and would lock herself in the room for hours. I tried talking to her, but she always brushed me off. One night, I came back from studying late to find her sitting in the dark, staring at something on her phone. I asked her what was going on. She jumped again, almost dropping her phone. She told me it was nothing, just personal stuff. I didn't push further, but my curiosity was piqued. The next morning, I noticed she had left her phone on her desk. Unable to resist, I picked it up and saw multiple missed calls and messages from an unknown number. The messages were disturbing, threats and demands to meet. That night, I confronted her. "Julia, I saw the messages on your phone. Who is this?" She broke down, tears streaming down her face. "It's my ex-boyfriend. He's been stalking me since we broke up last year. I thought I could handle it, but it's getting worse." I didn't know what to say. I felt a mix of anger and fear. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked. "I didn't want to involve you. I thought he would stop," she said. We agreed to go to campus security the next morning. They took the situation seriously and advised us to file a restraining order. They also installed additional locks on our door and promised increased patrols around our dorm. But that night, the fear was palpable. We stayed up together, both of us on edge. Around 3 a.m., we heard footsteps outside our door, followed by a soft knocking. Julia's face went pale. "Do you think it's him?" she whispered, gripping my arm. I nodded, my heart pounding. I grabbed my phone and called campus security. The knocking continued, more insistent this time. After what felt like an eternity, the footsteps retreated just as security arrived. The next day, we filed the restraining order, and Julia's ex-boyfriend was officially banned from campus. Julia moved to a different dorm for her safety, and over time, she started to feel more secure. We never spoke of that night again, but it brought us closer. Sometimes, late at night, I still feel a chill and wonder if we did enough to keep her safe.